Hi,
I'm John Benjamin.
I'm John Benjamin as well.
And I'm Who Gives a Damn.
Welcome to
welcome.
History.
Yes, this is
This one starts with a
This is one.
bang.
No, you know what though?
Annie
This
Oakley.
is also, I think, one of those episodes that we did at the very beginning of the day, and it started off with this like super aggressive, loud scene.
It's a good way to start.
But no,
Evil
it's
George
still,
Washington.
The evil
yes,
George
yes.
Washington.
But I mean, it was one of those things where I remember the recording day. Whenever like I would write a movie with like kind of an energetic vibe, it was the worst sluggish like first takes. I'm like,
no.
I am the worst writer in the world, because it would no. You remember that like that kind of stuff,
I never. It doesn't.
Did
I
we-
don't get the anxiety about it, of course. 'cause
Right,
it's
yeah.
just
Evil Picasso.
Right.
Evil
of course.
Picasso. So funny, and yet he cut off his ear, which is still funny.
Also, yes.
And he
there's
nailed
the
it
ear.
to his girl.
Are we only doing commentary on episodes that you wrote, Brendan?
I
just
said,
thought
I
of that.
said, yeah, I said, yeah. Let's. I mean, you guys did not, and I told you guys that in the other room. I said these. Are
I
the ones
thought you
that I
were
wrote.
kidding.
No, this is.
there's
I think I
Evil
actually made
Annie
reference
Oakley.
to this episode
Daniel.
in the last DVD, where the only time I was called at home was for this episode, and they were, and it wasn't even like it wasn't an angry call at all. They're like, we read the outline.
Just checking to see if you're okay.
Yeah, we're just checking to see. We're just checking, yeah.
They were
Just checking.
concerned about your well-being.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
I think.
concerned that I like had stopped
Totally
eating or
gone
like.
crazy.
And this is
It is, it's a
the
crazy
this is not the
episode.
introduction of Captain.
No,
No.
but this
Starboy
is
and
the
Captain Obvious, right?
triumphant, total takeover of
Right,
an
yeah.
episode by these two.
Yes,
They
and,
become the A plot, and the real world becomes the B plot.
which is like just like a switcheroo,
Yes.
and like it was just a fun experiment to try to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like the second season stuff, like you'll see there are episodes where McGurk is kind of light, and we were just there's just kind of like
real contract negotiations with Benjamin.
right now, but there was like this kind of I mean, it was not probably the right thing to do all the time, but it was an experimentation to see like where are the strengths of the show? Do we need him? I mean, without him, can we live? You know, I'd like to think that we can, but
No, the answer is no.
it definitely makes it a better world with him there.
I discovered the answer was no.
Yes, exactly. So, so this is another experiment in this kind of second season to see if it can
Starboy and the Captain of Outer
No,
Space
Space
can sustain and hold.
could sustain an entire episode.
Pretty
right?
cute with the scrolling background. They had to
Yeah.
think about
And I'll have to be
how
honest,
did
like-
the kids do the background, and then they figured it out.
I think I watched a lot of Space Ghost before this, to be honest. So, if, yeah. So if there is an
Really?
homage to anybody, it would be to Space Ghost.
Space Ghost,
Not that this comes across like Space Ghost, because I
the
don't think I
beginning of
could.
everything.
Yeah.
Captain of Outer Space.
This is a fun song. I know that was my throat though. And Chris Georginas played drums on it.
Even after he had left the company.
I
Really?
don't think
No,
so.
he was
still
No,
there.
I think he was
Still
still there. I just think he wasn't his home movies heavy. I think he had him being R&D on like a lot of different projects.
But Chris Georginas, we've talked about this in the first season, but Chris Georginas
Was
and
one of the-
Andre Lyman and Kim
Yeah.
O'Neill, very, very much responsible for the design of the
Yes.
entire world, the design
Yes,
of characters,
the laws and the
Characters.
the whole,
rules,
every aesthetic, visual decision was made by them in the very beginning, and
Mm-hmm.
really turned out to have legs. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's the test of their thinking in this design was just like, here it is. You know, we're in the middle of the second season now, watching this,
Yeah.
and lasted 4 more. We never really, I don't think, looked back at it. They nailed it.
Yeah. No, it was amazing. Like from when I first saw the anime or the look of the show, it was kind of a completed thought.
Yeah,
or-
exactly.
Yeah.
Already, like, so it was pretty amazing. And Chris Georginas, in addition to being a very talented animator and kind
Yeah.
of like designer, is also a great drummer. He was like in prog rock bands and stuff like that. So we connected in that way. And
Yeah. Do you know he's also a great mechanic?
I'm not
What
surprised.
can't he do?
I know, but I brought him in, and I believe Idis played bass on some of this stuff. Idis Kapczynskis.
Check the credits.
A
for
fellow
spelling of his last
Lithuanian.
name.
There were 3 Lithuanians that worked on this show, and that was Broadus, Idis, and myself.
That's how we got our grant.
Yes, for the Lithuanians People's Movements of Judea's People's Front.
Evil Dismon.
Yes.
Funny. Oh, soccer ball.
Yeah.
You guys know if I do this color will get a little bit brighter.
Oh, cool.
See that?
Oh, you make a sound.
Yeah. That's great shot. This visor comes down.
Sounds like the audio.
like the-
Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That'll
we
be
going to a
yes.
commercial?
No.
No?
I think there's probably some kind of.
Crosstalk.
I think we're just gonna have to watch
Visor.
this stuff. And,
So we've
yeah.
been in a movie the whole episode so far.
Yes.
Yes,
Get
thus
used to it,
far.
sister. Oh, he's in a big wheel. I didn't realize that. He's got a big wheel pulled up to the council.
Yes.
That's his little seat. That's funny. and the gnome is on the.
And the truth is, the reason that these two are brothers is because somebody in Dwayne's band suggested that they should be brothers at the end of.
Who? Starboy and the Captain of Outer Space?
Yeah,
Dwayne's band isn't real.
I know.
It's so confusing.
Somebody in their band suggested something about two other characters.
Yeah, do you remember that episode?
No.
It was
Oh
in-
yes,
yeah.
they were brainstorming
It was
ideas.
brainstorming ideas.
That's
They
right.
showed they were
That's
showing
funny.
this to the band, trying to get that
Yes.
Alone song, that Alone.
Yes.
And this is a song that I actually, if you want to know, the same birthday music was used for this
It sounds familiar.
for this bed was used. Yeah, so
This is the insult song.
The compliment
Compliment song, yeah.
Very funny.
The
is,
opposite of the insult
yeah.
song.
yeah, this is one of those things where
How to
I
manipulate.
think the way that I had it imagined, just like in my head, was that it was one of those Peanuts thing where they're kind of shrunk down on the lower right-hand side, and the background is just all these different colors, and they're just shadows in the front, which would be a rip-off completely of Peanuts. So I'm glad we didn't do that.
That's a funny. Superman
Now it's its own
reference.
thing. That is funny. Yeah.
And
It's
this is
how
he-
to it's how to get people to do what you want through compliments,
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, how to make it.
which works in real life.
Mm-hmm.
You look lovely today, though.
Yes, it's a lot like Gentle Talk.
Yes.
It's kind of a through line. He's wearing a skirt.
Because in the song he says something
Having
else.
his skirt. Yeah.
That's funny.
Because that's what rhymed.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. It's a good song though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, like that's classic, like Paul McCartney and John Lennon
yeah.
kind
Absolutely.
of writing.
So now we join the real world. Very
Or
briefly.
Ken Adelberg is not a great student.
Junior.
Yeah, Junior Adelberg is not a great student. And his multiplication.
That's right.
Yes.
Well,
It's also one of those things where I think he's not supposed to be from anywhere in particular.
No.
You know,
I think it's best if he's.
It's
from
best if he's
from
somewhere,
everywhere.
But we
he's
don't know.
from everywhere. He might have lived for a while where Chico Marx lived. That's what I like to think.
Oh, he's having a panic attack.
Yes. It's
Watch the colors.
It's weird how it affects
Lauren
people's
has a
TVs
Geiger
at
counter
home.
in here. He's actually trying to find where the radium is.
It's good to do commentary.
Yes, it is fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's
Um,
very pleasant.
I have to say that Cartoon Network was amazingly nice about every kind of weird decision that we
They're very
kind of came
supportive.
up with.
Yes, the
And then-
second season was like our adolescence, and they like stood by us
They
through our
nurtured
us.
adolescence. They let us be who we were.
Yes.
They
They
knew
were-
we would
Let us
find
experiment. Like,
ourselves.
they let us go and hurt ourselves
Yeah,
too. You know.
and yet
yeah.
we were also awkward and embarrassing to be around.
Yes.
Like good adolescents.
Um,
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's true, they were incredibly great.
Yeah.
Jackie Jones nurtured us through, and look how much better we were for it.
Also, I think I'm trying to remember what the state of the Adult Swim was at this time. I wonder if there was definitely a big change when
Aqua Teen.
no, Aqua Teen was like happening great, but there's definitely a change from like how we perceived our response before and after they brought in the big hitters like Futurama and Family Guy, which kind of
Right.
like just wiped us off the map. I mean, both like not it's not their fault. I mean,
No,
like,
it's
it's they just had this huge audience that came
it's
with them.
It's
from
our
Fox.
cross to bear. I think it'll
Yeah.
probably be with us the rest of our lives.
Yes, no, I
And
think-
it's
and I
why
don't even
we
mind
all
it.
cringe.
It's
I
like
kind
when
of
Dr.
like-
Katz was on Comedy Central, and we were like, "Hey, it's a cult hit," and then
South Park happens, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a hit.
Yeah, we were like, yeah, no, exactly. We're like, oh, home movies is great. Like, you know, we only had like a 90% tune out in the first minute, you know? And then, they're like, yeah, what's this? Hey, 10% of those people checked out the show. Guys, congratulations.
Yes, somebody watched it
Big
other
party,
than our
yeah.
family
Yeah,
members.
exactly.
But yeah, Cartoon Network was a dream to work with.
Yes.
No, they were great. It was amazing, especially like I said. I mean, while we were experimenting and making what may have been mistakes.
Yeah,
and,
they trusted us way too much. Come to think of it.
I know, yeah. It was
True.
especially like, and I think the Adult Swim was still kind of finding out what its deal was too,
right.
and then they locked it in right around Aqua Teen, you know,
That's right.
and figured out like, oh, it's going to be this kind of thing, which
That's right.
totally has a huge audience and is very funny,
That's right.
you know.
It's true. It's not home movies.
Yeah, it's not home movies. No, it's just very, very much true. Like home movies would have to have its own network built around it. I mean, seriously. I mean, I can't think where home movies would get to be what it wants to be.
You think of what I was thinking?
Home Movies
Home Movies
Channel.
Network.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be
Oh
a
my
nightmare.
God.
That'd be like a fever dream. That would be the most.
Brendan has that channel in his home because he constantly runs episodes.
I don't watch it. My dog watches it. He
He
watches it.
loves it.
He loves it. He loves
it.
it. Drives him crazy. Yeah, he just loves it.
He
He
like
runs around.
Brendan's living in this world where it's still on the air.
This is
and he can
really-
just turn it on.
I really like this.
Great shot.
Yeah,
So beautiful. Look at that.
that's very cool.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you have limitations, both time-wise and
Budget-wise.
budget-wise, like the amazing things that
Talent-wise.
talent-wise, right? How the animators will just glue things together and
Yeah.
fix stuff.
Oh yeah. No, they
Having said that, there's also an amazing phenomenon that happens when you get married to the audio and then see the animation,
Yeah.
because it's never going to match your expectations because you've imagined an entire world taking
That's right.
place.
Right.
So
yeah, no, we
so
really,
they have a tough, in our minds, I think they have a tough job to do.
Yeah.
You know, and when they exceed that, it's which is probably most of the time, it's a really amazing thing.
That's right. No, it's a good point. We have a real radio show that's
Yeah.
fully produced with sound effects.
Exactly.
And
That we've
music.
been listening to for a month
Yeah.
before we see anything.
Made micro
Gotten
decisions
married
about
too, yeah.
timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About the look and feel. I mean, the sound and feel.
Right.
And then they take over and they have to, somehow, kind of make it their own thing, but also be true to what's on the track.
Right. And then have to deal with an episode that may not be a great episode on top of it,
That's right.
and get excited about it.
Yeah. No, it's true, right? Everybody wants to animate the scenes that are already funny, but hats off to the guys who take a scene that maybe is a little
Exposition
slow
or
or isn't
yeah.
working
Right.
for whatever reason,
Yeah.
and they make it work.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just where you put the camera or a look that a character
Yeah.
gives that can bring the scene to life.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
That's
goes
true.
back to that acting thing we were talking about too. I think we talk about Damon a lot. Damon Wong, an incredible animator who made everybody better. And one of the things he was so good at was not just special effects or making a lot of action happen in a smooth way, but he nailed the acting first and foremost
Yeah.
every single time, and the characters were so alive in his scenes. Even his storyboards
Yeah.
were like breathing.
Right.
And that is something that I just think.
You know what though? Here's another thing that I mean, as we're speaking about animation, I think this is a great song.
Sure.
No, but I think one of the reasons this is like one of those episodes. It's funny when you have an animated show, like you think the sky's the limit, you can just do anything with it, and the truth is you
not
really
true,
cannot.
not true,
Like there's
yeah.
still there's home movies has a lot of what is it, like different versions that you can kind of click on, drag on 3/4 shots and like frontal views and like.
The symbols.
Yeah,
The library of existing.
Yeah, there's a library of existing kind of
Right.
like artwork, and you have that to choose from. So when you want to do new stuff, like dress Dwayne up as a
costumes,
kitty,
yeah.
as Mr. Pants,
Yeah, Mr. Pants.
that's a whole extra amount of artwork. Now this was a huge deal too.
Yes, breakdancing.
Yeah, the
Everyone's-
breakdancing.
I think in this episode, everyone's in a different
It's
costume.
true.
Yeah, this is so this is like for us a huge undertaking
That's
as far
right.
as like a home movies episode, because it's a lot of original artwork,
That's
like
right.
like Brendan,
When
Jason,
Brendan
and
says
Melissa.
us, he means them.
I
Right.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
them exactly. It's not.
Yeah.
I didn't do
No,
anything.
we would have to.
you wrote it,
Right.
and
We
they
would
had to drive.
But
would
at
have
the
to
same
kind-
time, like that was the whole thing. Is I like me and Bill and everybody else was just kind of amazed with what they were doing animation-wise,
Yes.
and thought like, oh, they can do this,
can
therefore
do
they should be able to do the
I
next
think
thing.
at
which is-
some point, I don't know if it was because of this episode, but at some point we had to start to consciously
Yes.
look at how many new characters, how many new
was
outfits,
after
how many
the-
new
yes.
backgrounds.
It was
because
after. It was after in this third season. What's the catchphrase of the prison episode?
Oh right, yeah,
What's the line?
the thing, yeah, I know what you mean. Oh my gosh,
I'm sure they know what you
I
mean.
can't believe we can't figure that out.
Anyway, there was this one episode.
You can't. It's like you can't tell the thing. You have to know the thing. You can't do the thing.
Something like that.
It's time to pay
It's
the
time to pay the
price.
price.
Oh
Oh.
my gosh, I can't believe we don't remember that.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
so
I'm ready to
embarrassing.
pass out now. After that one,
But like,
we had to have a big
we had to
sit
sit
down
down yeah,
and
we had to sit
say,
down.
and
By
we,
the way, it turns out they had to tell the director, me,
Yeah.
that you actually can't do unlimited number of
Right.
costumes, unlimited number of.
because it was easy
Scene
for us
changes.
to think up these funny gags and forget about. The
oh
thing
no,
that's
I
gonna
had
work
like I remember
together.
like writing out stuff that would have been impossible to do in the amount of time given.
Yeah.
That I mean. But at the same time, so like we would write out in the scripts like some kind of visual gag that we would hope would happen. and we knew immediately that it's not going to happen. And what they do is they take that notion and kind of like reformat it so that it
Well,
works
as we
within the
would
budget
read-
and everything.
As we would read a script,
And or also they would take they would
we
just
would
kind
say
of.
it couldn't happen.
Right.
Oh right, yeah.
You guys would write it, and then Lauren and I would have to be like, but we can't really do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what they told me? That also turns out the hardest thing, water.
Water.
Water is incredibly hard to animate convincingly, and it's a real pain in the ass. So that was a little other thing that.
Did we do any waters?
Yeah,
had,
with
people-
pool scenes.
Yeah, pool stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that was one of the episodes with Cynthia also at the pool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that in this season? Have we not watched that yet?
The country club.
Yeah.
I don't think I was.
That was Country Club and or. That wasn't Impressions, was it?
I don't know.
I think that's next season.
I don't remember anymore.
Remember anymore. You just said
This,
that.
yeah, that's what happens. We just
This was
forget
many,
everything.
many years ago.
This was a while ago.
Lots
Like again, it
happened
was
since
like
then.
5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
It was 2000, so
Was it 2000?
I believe it was because '99 was when we went.
UPN shows.
Yeah, so we were either in
UPN
production.
Aired April 26, 1999.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so Cartoon Network picked it up and started airing in 2000, so we would have been in production on the second season.
Yeah, maybe.
Or 2001.
Yeah, exactly.
It's 45 years ago, folks.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That's what
We're
we're
all-
saying.
But no, but this has got to be evergreen. So it's 45 years ago.
What?
Huh?
What are you talking
The
about?
commentary is timeless.
Oh, right. Oh, that's
It was
true.
a
yeah.
long, long time
Evergreen.
There
ago.
we go.
It's got to be evergreen.
Yeah. That's show business.
That was
I
poetic.
didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Where did you learn? How come I didn't learn
That's
that?
comedy talk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you do.
It's gotta be evergreen. Make it evergreen. No, you can't talk J-Lo. Evergreen.
Exactly.
Evergreen.
Don't date
Bigger.
it. Don't
Bigger.
date
Betty
it.
Davis. Evergreen. She will never go away.
Do you feel like you get easily
Um,
distracted? Let me put this another way. You get
Cute.
easily distracted. Did you know that?
So, yeah, it's very, it's very cute.
Let's talk a little bit about. Now we've done a lot of talking about the animation. The
Yes.
audio is something that I'm
Audio.
gonna hopefully cover in the extra.
Yes.
But also a good, example of craft that's going on.
Right.
Sort of invisibly, make a lot of heavy lifting that looks effortless in the end.
Right.
And maybe not so much in an episode like this, which is a little more scripted, probably.
Yeah, this one's a little bit more
More
scripted,
high
I'd say, yeah.
concept and
Well,
and
for
sort of
I'm sure you mentioned
musical
this.
numbers.
But still,
before,
no, I
but
mean,
for-
there's a lot of, yeah.
For every 22-minute plus or minus episode, there's 4 to 5 hours of
That's
of
right.
audio.
Yeah,
So that gives the people at home some idea
you get some idea. That's exactly right.
There's
of
a lot
the
of,
task cut out for
It's a
them.
lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of just listening to, it's just giving me a
And it's
headache thinking about
heartbreaking.
it.
Yeah. Oh,
I
it's
would not
really,
wish it
really
upon my
hard.
worst
It's really
enemy.
hard
Yeah.
because there's so many good things you have to let go.
Yep. So many things you have to let go, and so many things you don't know whether they're good, and you
Yeah.
lose your perspective as you're
'Cause you're
editing.
Or
hearing
you
it
have a
over and over
piece
and
of
over
like
again.
you have
Yeah.
a funny run that like McGurk will do, and you take out one thing in the middle just to shorten it, and it loses everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jonathan Katz used to say some bits were fragile,
Yeah.
and I always remember that word. It was incredibly
Yeah, I think it's
useful
true,
to
yeah.
remember that you can take out a breath
Yeah.
Right,
sometimes,
a beat.
and something's not funny.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the kind of pressure. It's like
Right, yeah,
defusing
yeah.
a bomb. These editors, these audio editors.
This is a funny little blowout between McGurk
Yeah.
and there's a lot of improv in this.
Yeah.
Anytime McGurk's on screen, there's going to be a lot of.
That's a fact.
But it just again, just making a scene that has some kind of like breakup intent, just so much funnier and punching it up and.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
And
it's
this
true. Like,
relationship is
yeah,
so cute. I mean, it's so great. Their relationship is just amazing.
No, let's hear the address in the Nixon voice that I taught you.
I can hear the
I
dialogue
know.
of that
Of
of that
another
thing that we were talking
episode.
about. Yeah. So
Yeah, don't mention it.
yeah.
Takes people out of the moment.
But as far as audio goes, I mean, there's a lot of manipulating, meaning that like you can squeeze in beats to make a joke kind of fall on its face, or you can just tighten things up just to keep the rhythm
Yeah, that's right.
going.
And
You know,
That's right. No, and you can take something that
was
wasn't
from another
wasn't
thing.
working so well and make it even funnier sometimes
Yeah.
by compressing it into something
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
it wasn't before.
Right. Let's see. This is as far, musically on this one. I had a lot of fun. The Mr. Pants song was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think somewhere around this time, like around the second season, I discovered the Line 6 pod
Mm-hmm.
guitar thing, which is a direct line box, which I thought was the most amazing, and still do. Since I bought the updated versions, it's like an amazing thing. You can just record guitars, and it just sounds like. And that was that was me using a whammy pedal with his and meowing into it.
good.
And another version of the compliment song.
Yes, exactly.
That's how he beats them.
But a lot of harmonized guitars because of Brian May throughout this whole thing, especially when right before this sequence. What else? Musically.
Meow, meow, meow.
No live drums.
No, there were live drums on. No. On this one, Starboy and the Captain of Outer Space. That's great.
That's
The
so
Polaroid.
that's a Polaroid.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's how they would do it.
The Captain of Outer Space. That was live drums, but I used a drum loop for the Mr. Pants song
Brendan?
and tried to sound like I don't know if I tried to sound like Axl Rose or Faith No More, some kind of like.
Oh, I got a star.
Did you? Oh yeah.
That's a star.
Hey, good job.
Thank you.
Today's teacher's pet. That's funny.
What did Brendan get? A big.
Oh yeah, that was a big
That's
thing.
why
We were
he's
like,
being really condescending. That's
yeah,
funny.
we wanted to build up. Yeah, remember? I think I
Yes.
remember the conversations on this one. We're like,
Yeah.
this is another live song that we recorded. It was the Victory theme, which I haven't heard in a while. But no, we were like, should Brendan
when they-
actually win at the
Yes.
end
Right.
And he
and have him
answers
like the
no.
thing? I was like, no, make him even worse.
Yeah.
It's funnier if.
Yeah, it's funnier. And
Whatever,
then
he's-
Lynch makes it seem like he did something.
It's even
but
better.
Yeah,
Crush
yeah.
a young child's spirit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
Not like Brendan really cared that
Lighting.
much about it. He's just afraid of the fear of not doing well rather than
That's right.
Than actually
the
not
gaining
doing
of
well.
knowledge,
That's
which is
right.
what I think how my experience in school I think was probably similar to yours, Lauren. And I think you might have been an okay student, right,
I
Melissa?
was. It's kind of
Mine was
weird.
like I just simply would not do the work.
Yeah, no,
I just
was
would not
all
do it.
about
That's
doing
right.
It was
the homework.
awful.
Yeah.
Anytime I talk to like a high school kid or anything, like I have nothing but sympathy for them because
right.
school sucks more than anything, and I want to go on record saying that.
Yeah. No, homework was an impossibility.
It was a strange little headachy vortex
Yeah.
that you had to live in for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Or in my case, like pretend to live in.
Yeah.
And it was
or just deal with the next day.
yeah, it was all. So there's always that theme of this is also great, all this extra
And these are
animation.
different,
different credits.
credits.
Yeah. But they had a lot of fun with that. It's
Yeah.
pretty
Oh,
awesome.
I like that with the credits showing the pictures.
But that's why
It's a
Yeah.
real
Brent,
show,
Animation.
kind of.
yeah, it did feel like a real show. Now there were moments as we were watching this, I was like, oh, that looked like a real show.
Yeah.
That's how.
Yeah, that looks like a real show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Just like a real show.
And yet, totally fake.